It is my favorite moment where I press the go live button. Greetings, dear friends and beloved community. I am so ecstatic about the topic of today and the transmission. I woke up this morning feeling so energized, feeling so expanded in my heart, in my body. I am going to take a moment to double check to make sure that the sound is on and everything is on. Yes, I am live and I am going to tag everyone. Okay. Okay. Everyone. Okay. Here it is. Boom. Okay. And here it is. I am in the group. Okay, darlings. I am going to start because if you're going to watch this as a replay, great, you're going to receive the same activation. And I just start seeing some messages in my inbox about people not being able to get in. So the way Facebook group works, the moment you notice that I tagged you, you just join the live stream. And whenever you join, it's perfect. You are not late. It's all good. So I'm going to wait maybe 30 seconds, allowing people to arrive. And if you have a question for this topic, I invite you to start contemplating on it. Topic about goddess spirituality, the spirituality of the earth. Topic from the book that you wanted maybe for me to go deeper. I felt guided to really give a voice today. It's not gonna be as long of a teaching and a transmission as yesterday. I aim to be precise with passion. The topic for today is the full aliveness that comes with the goddess spirituality. The passion-filled living. The sensual expansion that comes with the spirituality. The body being seen as the holy ground, the holy temple, a place of devotion where the goddess resides. And there is a new spirituality in the world, and it's spirituality of oneness, where the quantum physics meets deep mysticism. And what they call the spirituality of oneness in ancient cultures, they call it spirituality of the goddess, because the goddess is oneness. And what I so deeply appreciate about this lineage, because when we speak about this path, we truly touch on the lineage that is ancient and sacred and deeply, deeply profound. We are touching on the wisdom of the earth, the wisdom of the cycles. This is the lineage that can teach us how to live well. But not only that, it also teaches us how to die. Because if we're not able to die, we're not able to live. So every year we have the season specifically to practice death. It's a season of winter, right? Where everything slows down, where everything goes through a process of decline and eventual stillness. So the goddess path is a very cyclical path where we learn that there's going to be these cycles in our life, cycles in our body. In the goddess spirituality, we celebrate the cycles. We celebrate the youth. We celebrate the maturation. We celebrate the elder years. There is a beauty that is seen in change, right? We celebrate the different chapters of life, which is so beautiful in a culture that is set up to only glorify the young, to only glorify the flawless, right? This is the lineage that will celebrate the transformation of the body and the change of the body and seeing the sacredness of it. So in the book, there is a chapter that I added. I think it was like on the very, very last part of when I was working on the book, and it's called Pleasure as a Prayer. And I shared my understanding of how we can utilize pleasure as a form of devotion. And the pleasure as devotion opens up to us when we develop a particular level of consciousness, right? Because we all know those ways of being where we use pleasure for numbing and from escaping the moment. That's not the type of pleasure I'm describing. Here, pleasure is all about activating the senses and learning to experience life with the freshness of a child. Learning to open up your senses, learning to feel the wind on your face, and imagine that Divine Mother is touching your face through the wind. When you touch the ground and brush your hand through the grass, you imagine that you are brushing the hair of the goddess. And you may hesitate to grab a flower, right, without permission, because you begin to see everything is made of the goddess body. You begin to move through your reality in a very devotional way. So devotion is the main energy of this path. Devotion to your body, devotion to the moment, devotion to your craft, devotion to life. And the conversation about life as Eros dancing, one of my favorite, because when we awaken to this path, we awaken to this life that is never dull, that is never boring, that is always has this capacity for expansion, capacity for opening, capacity for more and more bliss. And the tantric tradition in that comes to us from India, entire universe is one lovemaking between Shiva and Shakti, our cosmic parents. And it's through their passionate lovemaking everything that we see exists. So as within, so without, when we begin to connect to these currents of energy within our own body, our lunar energy and our solar energy, and we begin to honor them, and eventually they begin to come into a deeper and deeper harmony, meeting on the altar of the heart and merging in a sacred union. You know, the soulmate that so many of us are looking for, spend 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, who counts? But we all do. Looking for that one soulmate, one true love. Well, you are it. You know, if you want to see the love of your life, you simply look in the mirror. When you find that connection with your own heart, that you are the soulmate, you have that inner beloved, then you can experience a real soul-shaking intimacy with another human being that is rooted on the most authentic, solid foundation. But until that sacred union is happening within us, within our own body, you know, we can only capable of conditional connection, codependent connection, right? The connection that eventually will lead to disappointment and drama. So when we enter the path of the sacred feminine teachings, a lot of us go through a chapter of a solo journey where we are practicing alone, we are reconnecting with the body, we're reclaiming our passion, we begin to realize, these random sexual surface connections become feeling so unsatisfactory that it's not worth to entangle your vibration. So it's not uncommon to go through a chapter where you practice solo and you rediscover your body, you rediscover the Eros flame with yourself. And you begin to learn that your entire body is a temple of pleasure and delight. You begin to move differently. You begin to fall in love with yourself. You begin to accept yourself exactly as you are, the weight that you are, the shape that you are, because the path of the goddess is the path of acceptance. In her path, we reject nothing. Because when we reject something, we push against it. We push against it, we give it power. Are you here with me? Have you made it? Have you made it to the live stream, darlings? Those of you who are live with me here, please, you can ask me a direct question about Eros. So my journey with Eros, I'll share with you just briefly, and then I'm gonna share with you how to work with your Kundalini or start embodying and activating it. My path to this moment was through these three major stages. The first stage, I was seeking for cosmic truth. I was always a seeker. I wanted to know what the point of this reality. At the age of 5, 7, I was already in deep inquiry. Why am I here? What's the point of being here? And I was really insistent, and I felt this deep urgency to find out the answers on the big existential questions. And at that time, I basically found a church and I enrolled myself. My family was not religious at all, zero spirituality. Right? My mom was a single working class woman who had no bandwidth for spiritual matters. She was just busy surviving. And so I found a church and I joined the church and I adopted a set of the religious beliefs. And I was there for 10 years, like deep, passionate path of religion. And after that, my consciousness started naturally expanding and I began questioning everything that I learned in the church, and I decided to experience reality by myself. So the second stage of my life was all about philosophy, and I dove into Eastern philosophy such as Buddhism and Hinduism, psychedelics, right? And direct experiences. So I dove into experience with Eros, into different sensual experiences to find out what I was not aware of. And the third stage of my life was when the mystery teachings came to me, and I began apprenticing directly with masters of light that exist on higher planes of reality, like ascended masters, different deities and goddesses, and different beings of the galactic council. So this was the journey. But I would say the big expansion of my heart and of my consciousness was in that stage too, when I began discovering the potential of the body as my direct teacher. And the journey was gradual, right? Learning to feel again, learning not to be overwhelmed by emotions, learning to cultivate my sovereignty while merging with another at the depths of romantic connection, right? So this was a big journey, but what I have began noticing that I start experiencing the spontaneous Kundalini awakening, and I didn't know that's what I was going through. I simply would notice acceleration of really unusual experiences of my life, like opening up psychic abilities, start having lucid dreaming, start having premonition experiences where I would dream about an experience and I would have it the very next day. So things of that nature began to happen. And also, of course, the body would go into spontaneous opening, and I would start feeling these bliss awakening, just feeling rapture, feeling joy all over the body, right? But those Kundalini waves they would come as a wave, and then I would start tracking them, almost like, recognizing the pattern. Okay, this happened in the past. I had these sensations. I have a feeling it's happening again. So the physical sensations were changing. Like I would spontaneously change my diet, and my body would tell me, we're going to start juicing right now. And I would listen to the body and I would go into a fast. And only in the hindsight, I would realize I was preparing my body for a heating up of the wave of Kundalini. But what only now I can say is I would also call in particular romantic partners who would also ignite that wave in my life, in my being. So it's you can work with Kundalini with a romantic partner or solo, right? This is like, there's going to be chapters for both. But I would say the most important thing that I wanted to name is that the path of the goddess is a sensual path. It's not a path of the intellect, it's a path of passion. It's a path of Eros. It's a path of full aliveness. And one of the practices that I can share with you that I do is, learning to engage with your food in a new way, right? So for example, when you take in the beverage, I like to work with cacao. So I have a cacao in my arms, in my hands. So you're bringing consciousness to the moment, entering an experience with your food, with your drink, with a sensation, right? And imagine that the goddess is in you right now. And what actually is going to happen in the next moment is the goddess will take a sip of cacao together with you. The cosmic energy of Shakti, cosmos itself, will take a sip of cacao with you. So this is, and you begin to practice with absolutely everything like this. You begin to activate your savoring abilities. With the goddess is all about slowing down and softening. With slowing down, we're entering a vertical dimension of reality. And it's so healing for our nervous system, because so many of us have spent decades trying to race against time, trying to get somewhere, trying to achieve something. Isn't it so? When we arrive to the goddess spirituality, we immediately receive a sense of relief for our nervous system. We begin to exhale. We begin to realize it's a timeless dimension that we have arrived to. And it's all about vertical experience. We're arriving here. And it's a paradox. The goddess designed, architect the paradox. So when you apprentice with her, you become more and more comfortable with holding a paradox. Paradox, it's eternal and impermanent. So when you are with your lover, I see Rob question, what's the best way to work with the Kundalini with a romantic partner? I feel to offer you this phrase, the beauty of impermanence. So when you are with a romantic partner, you get to train your consciousness to enter this profound vertical dimension of presence even more than you already do so. And when your mind begins to wander and you start, thinking about the future, the past, or whatnot, you remind yourself the beauty of impermanence. I will never have this moment again. I'll never have this moment again. So I'm going to enter it deeply. I'm going to expand my consciousness even more. I'm going to open my heart even more. I'm going to remove the guards and the barriers. I'm going to stop thinking about anything else but this being who is embodiment of the goddess in front of me. If you are with a male partner, embodiment of the god Shiva in front of me, right? Shiva and Shakti dancing together. And this Kundalini is the divine energy of passion. It's reclaiming the innocence of our sensuality, reclaiming the innocence of our sexual desire. Sexuality is the same energy as our creativity. So the more we open up our sensuality, the more we can stream divine brilliance of creativity. That's why when our Kundalini awakens, we sometimes be just absolutely in awe of our capacity to bring so much through, whether it's project, ideas, energy, movement, resources. This Kundalini is the fire of the divine that is within you. So consciously inviting it through different activation practices such as a breath work, right? When you work with the breath of fire, my spirit guides are hilarious. They're very direct. A few weeks ago, I was awoken in my dream state with one phrase. Right when the time where you exit the dream state? And so my spirit guides dropped at the very end of my dream. They said, breath of fire. They're so direct. I was like, okay, team. It means you want me to practice breath of fire. I got you. So things like that. Breath of fire is a very stimulating breathing practice that doesn't have the power to fully awaken your Kundalini, but it has the power to begin to stimulate it, right? And that's what we want. If you are new to a conversation of Kundalini, hold the intention. The first is hold the intention. Second, begin to work with practices, yogic disciplines that begin to stimulate the heat of the divine inside your body, right? Breath work, ecstatic dance, anything that takes you into a trance, out of your head, into the body. Begin to discover your body's essential temple. Begin to touch yourself, right? Really with devotion, with gentleness. The art of self-love is a prayer. If you're currently without a partner, you can live a highly erotic tantric life as a solo practitioner. You can take yourself to the most divine planes of ecstasy. But it takes, that desire and curiosity to rediscover your body and to see your sexuality is sacred. Your sensuality is sacred because everything you feel, Divine Mother feels. If you are with a partner, then you have the most incredible adventure to continue to rediscover your partner fresh. Every single encounter as a dance of Eros in your hearts, in your bodies, with every moment, with every kiss, with every devotional touch. Did you know that touch is the last sense that we let go when we go through ascension process. You're welcome, Gabrielle. I am so excited to speak about sensuality and sexuality inside the Facebook group where I'm not going to be censored. You know that I'm quite limited speaking about this topic. I am not limited. This platform will find a way to limit the expression on the topic of sexuality, right? All the censoring will come. It's my sacred self-care, Curry says. Yes, the temple of Eros is in my bedroom. I love talking about this because, beloveds, you know, that's what I love the spirituality of the goddess, the spirituality of aliveness. And the more we have this Eros and Kundalini running through our body without restriction, the more we are flooded with brilliant creative ideas for new visions for our life, new projects. We become more magnetic. Every time we experience ecstasy, we expand our aura. We become magnetic. You know, sometimes you meet people and they seem to be larger than life. They have big charisma, but not the fake one. A real magnetism. I guarantee you it's because they have awakened Shakti. They become incredibly magnetic. So when the cosmic power of Shakti awakens in us, that's the beauty of this journey. But not only that, divine souls, when we practice with the goddess spirituality, when we work with Shakti, when we work with the arms of the Great Mother, her goddesses, we have an incredible adventure ahead of us. We can unlock real supernatural abilities. This wisdom used to be hidden and secret, only revealed through oral transmission from a teacher to a student. Nothing was ever written down. We live in such profound times that we have access to these teachings without needing to spend 10 years in the temple, right? We are the temple. Life is a mystery school. So when we start working with specific expressions of the goddess, like this retreat is called the Arms of the Divine Mother. Divine Mother has 100,000 names, at least. She has many arms, and every goddess is an arm of Divine Mother. So we have the goddess Isis, or Austet in her Egyptian name. And I showed one statue, but look at this one. Isn't this one glorious? I really love this one. Look at these rainbow wings. And she is absolutely stunning, this beautiful goddess Isis. So goddesses, every myth of a goddess is a blueprint for awakening in divine feminine consciousness. Every myth is a part of what awaits us on the journey of awakening to the feminine, right? So in every myth that you study, you will find at least one erotic part in the myth. All the goddess stories are highly erotic, highly sensual, where the union of the feminine and the masculine is deeply revered as a birth of new reality, as a birth of new potential. When you learn the story of Isis and Osiris, how they met in the womb. Okay, lovers of romance, lovers of the twin flame stories. I'll give you this. Okay, I don't really care about the twin flame movement and the twin flame dialogue. Never cared for it. But if you do, it's okay. I totally respect whatever you love. But I do find the beauty in the story of Isis and Osiris, of souls agreeing to meet in the womb of the Divine Mother. So there is such a thing as prearranged meetings, right? Prearranged appointments. And Osiris and Isis met in the womb of Divine Mother. And, they were beloveds. They were rulers of Egypt. They were also brother and sister. So in that culture, an ancient Egyptian culture, brothers and sisters were marrying each other to preserve the bloodline, to preserve the lineage. And if you want to dive deep into the alien conversation, Isis and Osiris were not really humans, right? So they were these extraterrestrial beings, gods, literally, who took form as physical entities to seed civilization. I just couldn't resist to go there with you. The galactic conversation wants to come through. I just can't help it. Galactic conversation is here. And the other goddesses, for example, Durga. Durga is one of my favorite goddesses that I like to work. She's known as hard to conquer. Would you like to have a protector, a cosmic mother who is hard to conquer? Who is a warrior on your side, who's a cosmic protector and empowering mother? Durga is an excellent ally to have in your side. And every goddess has a condition, right? If she takes you as an apprentice, you gotta be humble to play by her rules. So, for example, Isis loves alchemy. If you begin to work with Isis, you begin to be trained at becoming an alchemist, turning any lead in your life into gold, turning pain into power, turning your adversaries into your allies. Everything that Isis stands for, you begin to work with her, you begin to apprentice in her curriculum. For example, when you start working with Durga, very powerful warrior goddess, one of my favorite ones. Nothing Durga loves more than truth. And she is also a very erotic goddess. She's so beautiful, and she rides the most regal animal. So when you see her, a painting of Durga, she is seated, and you know what's between her legs? A lion between her legs, and she's riding it. And she is incredibly erotic and powerful. She is truly an archetype of power and beauty and Eros together, unapologetically herself. And Durga was summoned during the time on the planet where things were very dark. And the demons were winning. And if you study Hindu mythology, demons are not the demons that, in the Western culture we think. Demons are representatives of ego. So every demon is a creation of human ego, right? So the human ego on the planet got out of control, so dark and just all-consuming that the gods needed help, and they came to the creator of the universe, Brahman. And they said, Brahma, the things on the planet Earth are not great. They are bleak. The dark forces of the ego are winning. And Brahma said, well, where's the feminine? And the gods, which represent benevolent thoughts or higher nature, the gods are scratching their head. Where is the feminine? Where is the feminine? Oh my gosh, of course the earth went downhill because the feminine is not here. Where did the feminine go? So they start calling for the feminine, and the Brahma said, remember, the feminine left a promise when things become really dark on the planet Earth, you can call for the feminine and she will come. So they start calling for the feminine. And out of their prayer and calling, they summoned the most powerful goddess, and Durga took form. So the divine feminine, out of the ocean of compassion, the divine feminine took form as Durga. And she came through riding a lion with her bare legs. And she was so powerful. And in the myth, when you study her myth, you learn that she appeared laughing, right? So this is also a part of the myth that is very important for us to remember. For the goddess, it is divine play. It is divine play, and it doesn't mean the totality of the experience doesn't include challenges and sorrow and pain and grief. All of that we get to learn from and to embrace in our heart. But let's remember that when the goddess Durga prepares for the battle with the darkness that completely enveloped the earth, she rides on the lion laughing from joy, from delight, from anticipation of experience, of using the sword of truth to slay the demons which represent the egoic thoughts and egoic desires. Right? Would you like to hear the rest of the myth, or should I pause here? Durga is one of my favorite stories, because when she rides into the battle, the main demon Mahishi, the reason why he became so powerful is because he was practicing yogic disciplines for centuries and centuries and centuries, So he was this entity that summoned a lot of favors from Brahma by practicing these yogic disciplines. And he became, known as undefeatable one, but here was Durga. And when Durga came and she slayed him, I'm kind of shorten this myth a little bit, but when she rode to the part of the land where the main demon was, all the demons saw Durga and they immediately lusted after her because she was so erotic and beautiful and sensual and sexual, and she played on their lust, and they wanted to seize her and to bring her to the main demon. And she said, I am under a curse. The only way you can be with me if you will defeat me in the battle, right? She's like, I'm under curse. I know you desire me, and I would love to give you myself, but I'm under curse. The only way you can have me if you defeat me in the battle. And the demon started laughing. Oh, stupid woman. Doesn't she know that she's going to be dead in a second? Because this demon could not be defeated, right? And he enters the battle. And then when he starts fighting her, and he quickly realizes that he is fighting the goddess of reality. And here's the humbling moment. Because when you're in the battle with the goddess of reality, you will lose every single time. The way that I look at life is the goddess. And when we come to the goddess spirituality, it's because usually we are tired of fighting. We're tired of resisting the current of life. We're tired of pushing the river. We're tired of thinking that we're in control. And life humbles us over and over and over and over until we become empty and receptive and finally ready to learn from a real curriculum called the curriculum of life. So the goddess is life. So Durga slays the demon, right? And then, another part of the myth that Durga also summons Kali. Kali, another version, a more fierce version, Kali known as the Black One. She is mysterious. She is terrifying. She is fiercely loving goddess who brings radical change swiftly. I would not advise invoking Kali unless you are ready for a radical change. Kali is not someone you summon without preparation. You summon Kali, you invite Kali because you know she loves you with so much fierceness that whatever she will take out of your life with an incredible speed is because she wants to liberate your soul from illusion of the ego. And if you are at the point of consciousness, you want nothing but freedom of your soul, Kali is your ally. Kali is also naked, also erotic goddess. Kali is blue or dark. She's covered with skulls that represents the egos of humans. She has this thing on her waist made of hands. Right? What are those hands? All the hands that she chopped, the hands of attachments, the hands of cleaning, the hands of grasping. So she will chop off our grasping hands, our clinging hands. But she will be the one who liberates your soul from the will of samsara, from the will of suffering, from the stories of illusion. She will be the one who will open your eyes to see the radical beauty of life. I love Kali. I love Kali. I once yeah. Do I tell that story? Do I tell that story publicly? Maybe another time. Here's Kali, the Black One. Now let's invite other goddesses. So I brought you a story of Durga, a warrior goddess, hard to conquer, protector goddess. Then we went into Kali, the Black One, the mysterious, the bringer of swift change. Okay, are you ready for Lakshmi? So Lakshmi is the goddess of great fortune. Lakshmi is the goddess of enlightenment and wealth. Goddess Lakshmi says, you can have it all. Have you ever seen a poor goddess? No, she doesn't exist. Goddess can manifest anything at will. She dissolves and she creates. She creates everything from within. Goddess Lakshmi says, realize that wealth is an inside job. Realize that abundance is an inside job, as within, so without. Without inner wealth, whatever golden coins you collect are meaningless if you can't experience joy and peace and true unity with all that exists. Once you have this, you can create anything. Lakshmi brings good fortune. She has her conditions like every goddess does. If we want to apprentice with a goddess, we gotta come with an empty cup and say, Goddess, what are your rules? What are your conditions, Divine Mother? I'm gonna be humble. I'm really gonna listen. So with Lakshmi, she wants harmony and beauty. Harmony and beauty. So when I began working with Lakshmi, I began to become a cultivator of beauty. No matter where I lived, whatever house Divine Mother would give me, whatever dwelling space she would give me, I would ask myself, how can I elevate the beauty vibration? Because beauty is a vibration. It's not the things, it's not the clothes. The beauty is a vibration. It's a subtle energy of harmony that we cultivate, right? You can have a very simple dwelling. I lived in a small studio cottage in my previous house. I was a minimalist for 5.5 years. My closet was this big, right? Literally, maybe this big. So I let go of everything that I didn't need and became minimalist for 5.5 years. But Divine Mother gave me the most important thing. She gave me the most beautiful view of the ocean. So who cares if my home was very, very tiny? And I remember creating a beauty portal and really cultivating it, really expanding it into into a temple, right? Into a temple of beauty. So this is what Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth and inner and outer abundance, and she stands for good fortune. Next to Lakshmi, I love the next goddess that I'd like to introduce to you because she's the goddess of mastery. Who would like to guess? The goddess of mastery. Any takers? Pop quiz can come to you at any time. All right. I'm going to give it to you. Saraswati. Saraswati stands for the flowing one. She is the goddess of all channels, the goddess of language, creative intuition, music, eloquence, and speech. Saraswati is a partner of Brahman, right? So in the Hindu tradition, there's three energies in the universe. There is Brahma, the creator, there's Vishnu, the sustainer, and Shiva, destroyer. So in our lives, we will experience these three vibrations: create, sustain, destroy, create, sustain, destroy. And with every energy, there is a feminine expression, Shakti, and there is a masculine expression, Shiva. So Brahma and Saraswati, Vishnu and Lakshmi, Shiva and Kali, or Shiva and Shakti, right? And what I love about Saraswati, she is all about the love of wisdom, right? So she loves wisdom. She's not a housewife. If you want a housewife, excuse me, Saraswati is not that. She is the one who will practice musical instruments for hours. She will recite you poetry. She will have a transmission of wisdom flowing down her tongue, right? So when you begin to work with Saraswati, one of my favorite ways to invoke Saraswati is I say, Goddess Saraswati, come and activate my tongue. Be on my tongue. I literally visualize Saraswati activating this channel, my throat chakra, and beginning to stream her divine vibrations. Really powerful. It's all available to every single one of us. Saraswati has a requirement as well. There is no free pass with a goddess. Every goddess has a set of standards. So what Saraswati asks from us? Nothing less but exquisiteness. nothing less but mastery, nothing less but our very, very best. And she will say, you have a story about not finishing the project. You have a story about procrastinating on your dream. Slap, 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 slap. Wake up. Commit to mastery. Rise in your devotion. If you want to be my apprentice, practice more. Show up for practice. I love Saraswati energy because I love mastery. And every time I create a story about a writer's block or difficulty finish my project, I come to Saraswati and I say, Saraswati goddess, liberate me from this story, liberate me from the fear of rising in my mastery. And she does. Because all the goddess wants from us is our sincerity, is our innocence, is our devotion, is our truth. All right? Sincerity, sincerity. So then I just recently connected with another goddess, even though I said this is going to be a brief transmission. We're already an hour. This is a timeless portal. Who is your favorite goddess to work with, Rob? Durga. I love Durga. You know why? Durga has a most profound sense of balance. Because, she only does what she loves. She loves truth. She's in such embodiment of self-mastery that she rides the most powerful animal, lion. She's constantly slaying demons, which is egoic thoughts and fears. There is no fear, there is no egoic thought that she cannot slay. She's ready for the battle. But when she's not in the battle, you know what she does? She rests. She rests in what she loves. And to me, that's a most beautiful balance of dynamic engagement with life and spaciousness and blissful being. Durga is not a workaholic. Durga is not there on the battle every day, hustling, slaying. She's like, whew, and now I can rest in my spaciousness, in my truth. But she's ready, she's alert. She's in her discipline, she's alert. She will hear when it's time to step into the battle, and her lion is ready and she's moving forward. And other times, she rests in what she loves. Durga. And then recently, Rob, I connected with another goddess, Lalita. She came to me into my awareness a couple of months ago, and I was curious about her. And this morning I felt her. And, darlings, that's how my experience with these goddesses, they're currents of energy. They're not female beings, right? They just take form. So our human brain, our human mind has some kind of frame of reference. Otherwise, they would be too abstract. They're currents of divine energy, and you feel them through your body, through your intuition, through your unconscious. So this morning I woke up feeling so alive and bubbly, and I said, there is a new energy. There is a new energy in the field. And I connected to the goddess Lalita, who is known for the playful beauty. She's the queenly goddess of sacred sexuality, as well as the highest form of mystical experience. So she's a queen, right? Female executive, female leader, who is also erotic, sexual, tantric priestess, and who is a deeply embodied mystical goddess. What? How about that combination? That's very powerful. I am just beginning to directly apprentice with her. I will bring you my notes from everything that I will learn from her. But dear ones, this is the journey with the goddess. Do you see how profound and illuminating and passionate this spirituality is? This is your body is the temple. Your Eros is your primarily teacher. Life is Eros dancing, and it's ongoing ecstatic opening of the heart. So if you are drawn to these teachings, it's because your heart has been prepared for it, right? It's not gonna, it's gonna be a minute before masses of the planet will catch up with this movement. The goddess movement is taking more and more and more momentum with every year. But the mass consciousness still, there's ways to go. But more and more people, the more and more people are opening the hearts, that's where the goddess will meet people, is in the hearts. And so many people are tired of living in their heads, living in their intellect. They want that aliveness of the body, aliveness of the movement, right? Of the life. So yes. That's where the goddess is meeting us. Patty, you see, Patty says we need an update on the goddess course. Patty, funny that you said that, because a new edition is coming later on next month, where we will bring new goddesses. Yes. So divine souls, I wanted to share with you my passion for this path, the path of truth, the path of liberation, the path of ritual, the path of deep devotion, and the path of dancing with unknown. Because in the goddess spirituality, unknown is also the goddess. And the moment I start seeing that, I begin to release, the worry, the ancestral anxiety, the excessive strategy and planning, right? The survival mechanisms that so many of us have grew up with. And that conditioning goes so deep, and we're tired of it. We want to learn to trust life in a fresh way again. We want to dance with innocence. We want to know that this universe is mother. It's a mother universe. And what kind of mother doesn't like to surprise and delight her children? So if we don't know something, it's because there is a surprise waiting for us. How about that perspective? I often say, if I don't know something that I think I should know, it's for one reason only. The knowledge would distract me. So everything becomes an act of grace. If something is being veiled for you, it's because the knowledge would distract you from entering the moment fully. So enter the moment, dance in the moment, become the Sufi dancer, the lover of life, the lover of the body, the lover of the Eros, right? The lover of opening your heart and practicing this way of living with undefended heart. And if you are walking your path solo and you are yearning for that companion who can meet you in this wild dance, my only suggestion and guidance is surrender that desire to the most powerful divine matchmaker you can have, which is the goddess. Because she knows how to pair you with the most aligned companion in divine timing, right? And it's going to happen in divine timing, in the most divine way. Trust her weaving Trust the way that she weaves. And in the meantime, become your own best lover. Become your own best erotic companion. You know, transform your life into the temple of aliveness. Transform your body into a jewel of creation. Become a beautiful custodian of your vehicle, right? Really say, how can I nurture myself more? How can I adorn myself? You see, in the goddess tradition is also, it's a way of adornment, right? It's I felt guided to wear this necklace for you today. In ancient temple sites, the priestesses and the priest would spend 2-3 hours each morning washing their bodies, cleaning their bodies, and then putting their best robes, their best makeup, their best ornaments to look their very best for the goddess, right? So we don't do it for other people. We do it as I am the vessel of the Divine Mother. Let me embrace my soul beauty. Let me adorn myself. Let me wear the fabrics that I love wearing. Let me let go of clothes that don't represent me anymore. Let me let go of the clutter, right? You just keep shedding the things that don't represent you anymore. And you say, I am a messenger of the goddess on this planet. May my vibration, the way that I tend to my body, the way that I feed my body, the amount of rest that I give to my body, right? So, how amazing to be here with you. I'd like to leave plenty of time for questions. And yes, I am preparing to unveil a whole new version of the Goddess course that will be really rich in embodiment practices, rituals, and evocation activation of goddess energies. With each goddess, it is a temple experience. So stay tuned. When it's going to be announced, you will see it all over my social media, like with all my curriculums. Hard to miss it, right? It's everywhere for at least 2 weeks. I highlight it everywhere. So, Divine Souls, thank you for being a part of this amazing time together. Do you have a question? Is anything that you'd like to ask on pleasure? And now, pleasure or prayer or Eros or Kundalini, because I have found Kundalini awakening comes in waves. It's not something that you have one time. You may have like a rupture of Kundalini as a big single event, but then after that, it keeps rising, it keeps rising, it keeps rising, it keeps rising. And I have noticed that you will go through a wave and you'll start tracking the signs. You'll start even saying, oh, I am noticing the shifts in my body, in my sensations, in my mystical sensory abilities. I'm about to go through Kundalini awakening. So then welcome it. It's your divine self is incarnated in the body. More. Well, if you don't have any questions, I would like to go swim. It's 80 degrees outside, and I live 7 minutes walk to the ocean. I'm going to go and pray to the ocean, the mother of my soul. Divine darlings, thank you so much for being here and sharing this fun and exciting time together. My prayer and my devotion that I planted a few seeds of encouragement, curiosity, and this deep desire for you to connect with the mother of the world. and to connect to her ecstatic, sensual nature. Because imagine an ocean of ecstasy. This is the goddess. So when we begin to apprentice with her, there's just ongoing waves of more and more and more and more bliss. And you begin to embrace her purifications, her tough lessons that will come, because you know everything is an act of love. And she wants nothing but the full liberation, maturation, and expansion of your soul. So embrace all, reject none is the tantric path of the goddess. We reject none, we embrace all. And the main prayer is thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you next time.